Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out New Cat Body by Jeremy Plummer.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is Thursday. The week is almost over. How's everybody doing? We got Joshua Dorr. What's going on? Good afternoon, JB from Ricky Sakat. Let's go, Detroit Lions. Won Pride Kings of the North Division Championship title. And good afternoon to all. It is so great to be here. We do have a little bit of Lions news today. Number one, the picture of the thumbnail tells it all. Sion Vaki. According to coaches and everybody else, it might be Craig Reynolds looking up from the practice squad, seeing him. He's running very crisp. Oh, look at that. Orlando's here for the nooner. Sound the alarm. Good afternoon, Paul Jones. Everyone except Packer fans. We welcome them all. I don't care. If they're watching, it's better for the show. But yeah, Sion Vaki, I guess he's been doing everything they've been asking him more. He's actually looked very good doing the running back drills they've been doing lately. As far as Hendon Hooker, did I catch the Panthers versus Rangers? Nope, not at all. Not a minute. I'm not that big into hockey if my Red Wings isn't in it. Oh, but where do I stream Michigan Panthers? They have been on Fox Sports mostly and other media outlets like that, not so much on NFL Network, of course. Uh, they were on Bally Sports, but word is Bally Sports has gone belly up nationwide. That's why the contract wasn't renewed. They haven't been paying their guys. But oh, good morning, Smoking Dad. Just dealing with stupidity. But the Michigan Panthers, that Jack Bates kid. How long ago was it that I was talking about his ritual where he lines up on the opposite 48-yard line near the bench and kicks, and it's like a 70-yard field goal, and he makes 3 out of 5 pregame every day? Uh, it it is what it is. I'm not getting into South Florida Tribune stuff here, Joshua Door. At camp, they're saying Hendon Hooker's arm is looking smooth. Butter isn't as smooth as what to a smoother word to s- describe it on how well he's been doing. But at this time, there's no pads. It's no different than at rookie camp. Um, some of the things are getting overblown, but as far as what I'm hearing from the coaches and the beat writers that have been at camp so far, Sion Baki looks exactly why they traded up and got him where they did. And Craig Reynolds might be. Very few teams carry 4 running backs active on the roster. Right, but with better speed, Brent DeWitt. Good to see you. It's been a minute, sir. But like I said, I think it was week 2 of the UFL season when I started telling people about Jack Bates and his practice routine. And now that one beat writer nationally said something about it, because now that they're going into the playoffs, all of a sudden I'm hearing all these Lions podcasters all around. Like 8 of them last night did a show dedicated to wanting Jack Bates now. And I was like, So 8 weeks ago when I said it, it meant nothing. No, it was after week 1. It was after week 1. Because that was when he did the 64-yarder twice, and the first one was actually from 67, and the announcer said that that would have been good from 70 to 72 yards, because specifically mentioned that, and it was during that week. I think I watched that game that weekend. And other good news, Dan Campbell is saying Jamison Williams is playing like a man possessed. Well, you should be watching the UFL games. It's not USFL, it's the XFL and UFL combined to give you the best teams that they could between all of them. And the reason why I say that is their kickoff rules is exactly what the NFL has adopted for kickoff rules. It would actually educate you on what's the difference for the starting positions of teams after the rule change. Because guess what? Hardly anybody starts at the 20 or 25. Average starting point, I think they say is between the 32 and the 40, and that's a huge difference from what we're doing right now. And people don't realize it. I mean, draft strategy day 3, a lot of people drafted a lot of people with special teams abilities, way more than normal. People that had already valid return people. And I think that's for depth at the position and also for more returners available because you have to have 2 returners in that formation. And because there's not the true gunners on the outside anymore like you used to have. You're gonna need solid tacklers, guys with speed. Matt Henry, good morning, sir. And out of Packers camp, Josh Jacobs hurt his hammy again. Imagine that. So he won't be participating the rest of the OTA. Uh, T. Higgins hasn't signed his franchise tag, so he can't participate or be at the facility for the OTAs. The best punters will become a weapon. Yeah, and you know what? 2 of the best ones might be right here in the NFC North. We already know how good Jack Box is. He can flip the field on people. But the other kid out of Iowa, the Bears just drafted. Granted, I didn't like them drafting him in the 4th round, but they did only have 4 picks at the time. I still say if it had been flipped and the 4th rounder was Austin Booker and then they drafted the punter in the 5th round, it would have looked better optics wise. And it would have looked better as far as where they predicted Booker was going to go because he was a late 3rd, early 4th rounder. Cheesehead called in a hamstring specialist, I think. Yes, sir. It's not the first time he's had this. It actually literally said in the article, Josh Jacobs to miss OTAs due to a familiar injury. Iowa punted a bajillion times last year, so they had a massive sample size. Yes, it's true. And go back and look. Jordan Love, if he had an average start in the 10-yard line on the opposite end of the field from his end zone, it was a 3 and out 9 times out of 10 last year. And that didn't matter what time of year, beginning of the year or end of the year. That's something that happened a lot. And that's not talking crap. That's just saying the fact. Well, thought it for Watson, not sure. I don't know. I haven't heard that anywhere from any of my sources. I seen the article. I thought it was funny and it read like a joke one. So I'm not putting any heart in that. But Minnesota, the coaching staff is not happy with how JJ is doing in OTAs. He's having difficulty reading where the wide receiver is supposed to be on certain routes when he's given the route they're going to be running and where he's supposed to throw the football. He's missing receivers badly. Sam Darnold was named the starter before they even drafted him. And I said, JJ may never see the field this year. And more than likely, Minnesota will start slow because I have no faith that Sam Darnold is a good quarterback. Not one. Saying Darnold is a good quarterback is saying the same as Zach Wilson's a good quarterback. Neither one are on the Jets anymore. But yeah, Dan Campbell is awfully excited about how Jameson's showing up at camp at OTAs right now. And I think it's great. It's about time. Maybe that'll stop all this. He's a bust. He's not a bust discussion because, he hasn't even played his third season yet. Oh, not with what I'm hearing, Matt and Henry. They won't be screaming for JJ to play this year. I'm hearing it's that bad. As a matter of fact, they might be screaming for Quezzy's head. It's that bad. So, what do you guys want to talk about? What questions you want to ask? Because it's been rumor I am hearing is JJ wants a trade. They won't trade him, and I don't blame them. Yes, LGBTQB1 looks actually decent so far. I think we need to get that jersey made. That way, Bears fans will have something to order from us. Uh, they didn't make that designation right now. They're just not happy with how JJ's progressing. And let's be honest. Did I not say that JJ wasn't ready to be an NFL quarterback? He probably would have been better to stay in school another year. Thank goodness, Dad. I was worried about you. I did. I said he needed another year in college. I said it as soon as he declared for the draft. Again, you said it before I could type it. JJ will get the tag before they trade him. They drafted McCarthy so they could play together. Um, Justin Jefferson's from LSU. I think they made a mistake taking JJ. I think they should have traded back or traded up. They should have forced a trade up because I think Michael Penix is going to probably be one of the better quarterbacks this draft. Not that JJ Justin Jeff. Oh, I know. I'm talking about Justin Jefferson. He's under his rookie contract. And the best thing that could happen for JJ is to sit and learn for a season. Absolutely. I said that all along. Yeah, I know. And they made a mistake doing it. They got scared because Denver acted like they were going to trade up. Belichick at the draft said JJ wouldn't have made it past 3 if he was still the coach. And thus, you know why the only job offer he got was at Foxborough High School, not an NFL team. This is why wins should not be considered a QB stat. That's why when I hear Lions fans putting a lot of stock into playoff wins, it's a team game. The team wins the playoffs, not the quarterback. The only complete team we fielded around Stafford was 1 year, the 2014-15. Harbaugh said JJ had the best pro day he ever saw, though. Pajama Olympics. It's the same reason why I don't put a lot of stock into the OTAs. People can look great in their t-shirts and their shorts while wearing a helmet. 100%. But until it's full contact pads and out there on the field, you don't know what you get. Which that doesn't happen to what, the last 2 weeks of actual training camp is when the pads go on? In a salary cap league, wins should go to GM and coach realistically. I saw you. Harbaugh also had Stevie Wonder's glasses. No, he did look good in his pro day. He made every throw he was supposed to make. JMO is extremely motivated, and the Vikings in the NFL's best receiver is not happy. I love it. What does it mean if you look awful at OTA? It can mean everything and it can mean nothing. But if you're a rookie quarterback you've drafted in the first round, you expect them to make the basic throws when you tell them where the wide receiver is going to be going. Does that make sense, Matt Henry, what I'm saying? If you know what throws need to be made because you made them on your pro day, shouldn't you be able to make them at practice? Yes, I agree. I'm just saying, it's not like they're out there playing a game where things change and receivers get bumped out. Right, OTAs are just underwear Olympics with the helmet, and that's what I'm getting at. But if you see people doing something better as a rookie than a pro, Dad, do you think the NFL should replace Gatorade with Mountain Dew? Absolutely not. I understand, Eric. Good to see you, brother. Don't forget, we are going live into Roku and Fire Stick with the Huddle Up Sports Network app. It's a kind of a big thing, though. I'm on TV without having to be through YouTube if you want it. I downloaded it so I could watch the other shows, but it's weird because you still got to comment through your phone because there's no way to comment on the Roku app. So I just mute the phone and do it that way. And yes, I did watch Dan this morning, the realtor that does his show, his morning show at 7 a.m. I like commenting on that show. And a couple of Lions fans got into it back and forth. One's from Texas, and one is one funky Lions fan, which we see here off and on at different times. And they were going off on each other. And I said, maybe I need to be Don King and promote it pay per view style right here on the Roku app. I thought it was kind of funny that I was trying to do that. And then you offered to help. That was great. You know, golf is, even though the extension is done, he's still a polarizing topic for a lot of people. What's done is done. The contract is Yeah, I know. I heard about Steve Strickland. I gave my rest in peace the day I heard he passed. Um, my dad's doing great. He's here in the chat. He fell down and cut himself up the other day mowing the yard, so he had to get some stitches, but the bandages came off today. He says it's looking pretty good. I don't want to see it. Leonard's got some new irons in the fire. We got somebody helping us with a few things for production value in the background, and they're going to get better. Things are going to get change. The production value is going to get better. Gatorade for Pepsi would be even better. There he is. I know you remember Eric, Dad. And we're still growing. I believe we even added another subscriber overnight. Let me go double check real quick. My granddad fell mowing the lawn. What the heck? Uh, nope, we're still at 447. I love the fact that Sion Baki is doing what they wanted, and he's looking like he was worth that PFF grade he got in NCAA. Hello, Granddad Ken. Oh, this cracks me up. Uh, you know, I don't know what's more entertaining, the stuff that I talk about or the chat sometimes because it gets pretty comical. Anybody has anybody heard when Fan Appreciation Day is going to be at Ford Field? Several teams each year make the playoffs that didn't the year before. What new teams get in this year? Who gets left out from last year? As much as I hate to say it, I think well, I actually love to say it because I hate them. I think the Cowboys are the odd man out this year. I think Commanders and whoever takes third place in the North, third place is going to get in. So that takes care of two spots. I think the Rams don't get in. I think the Bucks are still winning the division down there because Atlanta didn't do enough in the draft to address what they needed. Drafting Penix in the first round. Brent says, I really think the new rules will put a different spin on special teams. Baki is one of the results of getting him. It was more than that. Do you guys realize that Baki averaged almost 6 yards a carry? It's pretty insane, really. Uh, I know that they're going to do a fan appreciation day that's free at Allen Park, but if they are doing family fun fest, I haven't heard. I just want to go to the fan appreciation day at Allen Park for sure. As soon as that date's announced, I want to know. Yeah, the NFC North is going to be tough this year, top to bottom. It was last year, really, if you think about it. I mean, granted, the Lions and the Packers were at the top, but when your bottom two teams both have seven wins, we had the best record other than AFC North in all of football last year as a division. It's Baker's division to lose. He's my new favorite player, lol. Um, my favorite player, I don't know if he's gonna make it. Ralph Williams of RW Media says hello. And then thank you, sir. Good to see you here. Um, any breaking news from Steelers camp you want to put in the chat for the fans for me? Do you think Vaki can replace Monty in a few years? He's a different style runner. He's just a different style runner. And Eric Shawn says, "Well, I don't see Chicago with Caleb's nail polish fumes making everyone high in the locker room or Minnesota making it." Um, I They both had two of the best defenses in the NFL. And Matt Henry goes, "Yeah, true about the North last year. Every team improved in the offseason." Yes, and that's what I was saying. But when the gap is 2 games between second place and first place, hear me out, Matt. I'm going to go there. Oh, you guys signed Jonathan Ward, running back, to a 1-year contract, 2026. Oh, yeah, I know about 2026. I talked about that last night. What a great show. I can't believe it went 2 hours. I mean, just sitting here, we're rattling stuff off. I was trying to do that, and then Ken popped in, and I had to let him do his bear steak because you know what? If you're willing to come on my show, I know Rodman was painting his nails in Chicago back in the 90s. Yeah, trust me. I know. I'm 50, gonna be 54 shortly. My dad saw all of that too when Rodman Chuck Daly wouldn't allow Rodman to be that guy. That's why he left in free agency to go to Chicago, is because he wanted that freedom to be himself. Williams is taking every snap from the pocket and Fields is washing jock straps. That's funny. But that's good. Yeah, and he even married himself. I just proved my age. Yes, you did. So you must be around my age yourself there, Matt. Oh, Orlando, who you talking about, the suicide scare with the shotgun in the parking lot? Did I change the live time? Yes, I did. I started going at noon so I could be live on the Roku app. Rodman lost his mind when Vinny slept with his life, so there's that. Yep, turned 50 in January. Well, welcome to the half a century club. Rodman Pistons. Yeah, I know. There was a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on. Everybody had a lot of stuff going on in the 90s, 80s and 90s. But you know what? It was a different era. People got through shit better, in my opinion, than what we do now. Too many people get upset over somebody's opinion and are ready to fight over it. It makes no sense. I like making jokes about it. When somebody says something totally stupid in the chat, I'll say, "Wow, I really like that idea. I also like to wipe my ass before I take a shit too." Right, no one will. That is the key right there, Matt Henry. Rodman won titles. I don't care what Caleb does if he wins a title. It If the team wins a title, everybody's gonna idolize who it is that was on that team. They're the greatest player ever in that team's history. That's how it goes. It's the reason why people call Barry the GOAT, and Megatron was just one of the best wide receivers ever. Nobody calls him the GOAT. Our society is emotionally driven now. Logic and reason is out the window. Um, but logic and reason needs to make a comeback, is my point. And it starts with us. And it's the main, and they got some of the best weapons for their offense. We don't know what Caleb Williams is. We don't know how good that O line is going to be. So that's why I have them penciled in right now as number 3 in the North. And I gave them a 8 to 10 win window, and I think it's more realistically that they win 9 or 10 games. Vegas odds, if you look right now, it's the way it's gonna break down anyways. The over under for the Lions is 10.5. The over under for the Packers is 9.5. The over under for the Bears is 8.5. That's 9 wins, people. 9 wins could have got you in last year in the North, if you remember right, because the NFC South is that bad. Oh, Megatron got tired. No, Megatron got tired of being hurt. He played his last 3 years with a hurt back after that Bengals game where he came down in triple coverage. He hurt his back in that game. But, the O-line, the interior O-line, if you look at it, it should be better than what it was. The key to that O-line is gonna be staying healthy because the depth isn't there like it is with some of the better O-lines in the division, like the Packers and the Lions, and even Minnesota has a little bit of depth there. But we all saw once Kirk Cousins went down, that team fell apart. Josh Dobbs in Arizona went, what was it, 4-1 to start the season, and then went 1-4 with Minnesota. I mean, night and day just because he switched teams, but it was a different system. Just because a quarterback's good in one system doesn't mean they're always good in the next one. There's a lot of things that can go on. And yes, it's easier to get worse than better at quarterback, but it's also easier to get worse because you keep the same one too long. Yep. Ragnow said he was never considering retirement. That was all the reporters putting words in his mouth. Let me see what they say about the NFC now. This north, south. Hmm. Right now, they've got the Bucks and Atlanta both at 8.5. I think Atlanta's defense is better than everybody thinks. I think they had a lot of problems with the offense, with the way Arthur Smith was running it. Caleb Williams for sure has athletic talent in spades. His head is the question. We shall see. I wish all the players the best, even though I'd love to watch Merkel crawl back into it under his bridge of shame, but I'll never root for a player to fail. Yep. Both of them are at 8.5. And the New Orleans Saints are at 6.5, and the Panthers are at 5.5. So they expect them to be the first pick overall again next year. So maybe they'll be able to get their quarterback. I think the Bucks could win 10. And I think Atlanta is probably a 9-win team. So it really depends on their out of season schedule and what they did in their division. Out of division and in division records are going to matter the most on whether they can get in. I'm taking the under on Carolina. I don't blame them. Jamal, we offered him the same exact contract we gave Montgomery. Montgomery's happy to be here. You know what he said? I get to run behind that old line. Sign me up, please. The only question I got for polls, the only question I got for polls is why 8 million for your run RB3. I understand you got stupid money to deal with, but I don't think Swift was worth that much money. He had one fully healthy season in 4 years. All right, Dad. That's a little sauce. No, I know what you meant. It's what they call them in the UK. Got to get some smokes. Yeah, I got to do the same thing here shortly. But you know what? I'm having too much fun, and I got about 17 minutes of time to kill. This is the first time. No, the first 2 years Swift was here. He had an okay O line in 2020. It got a little better in 2021. Dad's a bit spicy. Well, he's a well traveled man. You're talking about a man that did 2 tours in Nam. Speaking of which, we all know what Monday is. Everybody say it's National Barbecue Day, but it's actually Memorial Day. It's to honor everyone, everyone who has passed serving this country, regardless of the conflict, regardless if it was a war or not, regardless of whatever they want to call it. If you died in service of this country, you signed the ultimate blank check and it was cashed. So please remember what it's for before you start celebrating it the normal way with getting drunk, going to the beach, and having a barbecue. How many yards did Swift get while he played with us? He got a lot of yards. It was touchdowns he really didn't get. In 2020, he got 521 yards on 114 carries, and he had 357 yards and 2 touchdowns in receiving on 46. So in his career, in 5 years, he's had 2,729 yards. He's had a total of 23 touchdowns rushing. 4.6 yards per carry. Does anybody consider the chemistry angle for the Bears way too many moving parts over the last couple of years? You know what? But they had to have a lot of moving parts. But yes, there probably is a chemistry thing. They're on their fourth OC, which is another reason why Justin Fields isn't here. Even though he did everything you asked as getting better each year, he was a 12th pick overall, and he was due a fifth round or a fifth year option. So make it somebody else's option. Don't pay him. I always liked Swift, but made of movie glass. Yes, absolutely. Broke before touched. So let's see. 2020, 521 yards. 2021, 617, 542. He had a total of 18 touchdowns rushing. He had 2 fumbles, both of them lost in that time. Last year, he had 2 fumbles, but neither of them lost. So he's had a total of 4 or 2 lost. So that's a 50% loss rate. Um, He's still at 4.6 yards, which was exactly what he got his rookie year and last year. His best year was 2022 with 99 carries and 542 yards, 5.5 yards, and 5 touchdowns. And I think it's amazing that behind that O line, he only got 5 touchdowns. Oh, I understand that. It is 17 games. So if you divide the 36 by 17, that's 2 touchdowns a game. Or 2.2 touchdowns per game. It's not that hard to think somebody could do that. And Gibbs almost had 100 last year. 1,000 last year. Yes. Oh, don't be talking crap now, Eric. Be nice. Be nice. You know, you don't want to hurt LGBTQ1's feelings now. Be nice to Caleb. He's sensitive. Sorry, I do got to do a little bit of shit talking. It wouldn't be me if I didn't. Oh, imagine that. It wasn't a fully healthy season for Swift. He missed a game. Games played out of 17 is 16. That's missing a game, right? It's all good, JB. And yes, 235 yards a game for 4,000. Yes, we've all done those breakdowns. Hey, Stroud was not imperfect either. His first game, he looked like crap. Let's not forget he lost his first game. Week 1, the rookie starters, none of them won a game. You mean Wingo? Are you talking about Mikai Wingo, our 6th round pick, the one we took just ahead of Mahogany? Oh, I know it will. It's gonna take time, though. People are still adjusting. And you notice they're not pushing these starters to go as hard in that 17th game like they used to. I'm gonna call a couple of practice squad moves this year, and some people aren't gonna like it, but I see it happening. Levi Wuzariki will probably spend time on the practice squad. He'll hit the waiver wire probably after the preseason. I think he's gonna be in that full cut range of the 37, is it? Yeah, 37 we got to get off the roster. And when I say 37, that doesn't include the ones going to the practice squad. I'm saying he's going to hit the waiver wire. There's going to be some claims. We're going to lose some people that we drafted finally. This is that year. I mean, we already lost Chase Lucas in the offseason so far. When the end of preseason comes and they start making those moves, there's other guys we're going to lose that was in those draft classes that everybody lauds of Brad Holmes, and it's not because they're bad, it's just because we're getting that much better with the depth of talent on this team, and you really should be applauding it going into year 4, that it's gonna happen this year. Um, our 2021 UDFA pickup, he wasn't a rookie, he was just a UDFA or a URFA, unrestricted free agent, excuse me. Uh, Netflix, Craig Reynolds, I think he's gonna be off. Thank you, thank you, Matt Henry. I think we're gonna lose Reynolds to the practice squad at least, and he may get picked up. But last year, if you remember right, he went to the practice squad and came back to the active roster. I don't think we're going to carry Bam McKnight on the active roster either, even though he had some special teams value. Getting hurt on your first special teams play kind of ruins that value. Right. Finally the Lions have more depth than our potholes. That's the point I'm making. And I'll say it one more time before it gets there. With the amount of talent we influx to the defense, both through the draft and free agency, this is the no excuses year for AG. There's no excuse to have a bottom 12 passing defense. None. Absolutely none. You realize our passing defense, while everybody was saying, oh, it was 22 or it was 21st, it finished 29th, people. The only passing defenses that was worse than us was Washington. And I can't remember who the other one was, but it was 29th as well. And I'm just saying, I think it was Carolina. Washington and Carolina was 30th and 32 and 31. I can't remember who was 30th in passing yards again, but it wasn't the Lions. We were 29th again. You, I'll be happy 15 to 20. If it's in that range, I'm good. If it's 21 through 32, I'm going to be pissed at our passing defenses there. We ended up with the 22nd defense overall, with our rushing defense being third, either second or third. Yeah, Minnesota was the other one, so they were 30th. They were the one right behind us. That's it. So Carolina, Washington, and Minnesota. But the difference is Minnesota ended up being a top 10 defense at the end of the year. They started out bad and got better. That's my point. Brian Flores came in. Falcons, I don't. Falcons was 28th or 27th. They had a better pass defense than us, if I remember right. A lot of teams had a better pass defense than us. But Minnesota, Washington, and Panthers were at the bottom. What do you say, guys? Before I get into the sponsors and get ready to head off here, you want to hear Gridiron Heroes? It's been a minute since I sang it. I'd like to do it with a little touch of reverb there. Forward down the field, a charging team that will not yield. And when the blue and silver wave, stand and cheer the brave. Rah, 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 go hard with the game. With honor you will keep your fame. Down the field and gain a Lions victory. Go Lions! That's right. You said it. It's our favorite sponsor. It's not the florist. It's not found the puppies, found the plunger, log the porpoise. Put it in the chat. FTP people. Do not spell out the word, please. We are on Roku. It's for the people. Yes, smash that like button. It helps with the algorithm. It helps push this show further up the list of the Detroit Lions podcast. Um, I'm so honored to be on Roku and Amazon Fire Stick with the Huddle Up Sports Network. Make sure you download that. Yeah, fudge the Packers. Thank you. Thank you for cleaning that up. My other sponsors is Gloss Negron, the best window tinner in Saginaw, located at 409 Hamilton Street, 989-443-9240. Call him up to schedule your appointment to get your whip looking good for summer, like this Maserati SUV and this Chrysler 300 C-Class. And last but not least, Brandon's Tire Service, located at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, 602 West Atherton Road to be exact, right here in balmy Flint, Michigan lately because it's been so humid it's balmy. I like using my big words. This is fun. But if you need used tires, stop in, pick up a set. They start at $40 a piece and go up from there anywhere from 160 to 250 depending on the size of tire for used sets of tires. If you need a new set, give us a call, 810-233-8230. Ask for George, Red, or myself, and get your quote on your new tires today. If you mention this ad when buying a set, we will knock $10 off. Finite trash pile. Yeah, I said that about Mahogany when he was in the, or no, Manu, when he was in the one-on-one drill at the rookie camp. I said he folded Bruce Hudson, the center, who's almost the same size. He's 6'5" and 315, something like that, like an empty trash can against a waste management dump truck. Thank you. I'm proud to be a part of it. There's some other big things happening. Uh, Leonard is making stuff that is KCB Sports logoed. We got some Michigan uh, bottle openers. We got some Lions bottle openers. We've got all sorts of stuff. It doesn't matter what team you follow, we can make it for you if you want it. He's also doing lanyards because people talked about wanting lanyards for their keys and stuff. So we got some things in the mix, and contact Leonard if you need any of it. Oh God, I've been wanting to see the full house formation brought back to the NFL because no one would know how to defend it at first. For 1 year, it would look amazing. The three running back set in the backfield, one wide receiver, two tight ends. Bring that back. And then let it be a play action pass. Gibbs can be your medium route. Have JMO running deep. Brock Wright being an extra blocker. Have one running back as a blocker back there for your quarterback for a check down. I want to see that. How are you going to defend that with the new rules and the hip drop rule for tackling? But yes, if you fans are having an argument and you need to go live, come see me. I will get the time slot cleared up and we'll do it as a pay-per-view event right here on Roku and Amazon Fire Stick. But here's the information about those guys again.
Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.